Hey, yo, what's going on? It's Ronin, and today we got a review for the Callisto Protocol, which is a horror game from the co-creator of Dead Space. I'm gonna tell you right now, this game got gore galore, but this game also has some issues here and there. It probably should have been polished a little more, but let's just get right into the review. Firstly, we're going to talk about the story of the Callisto Protocol. Basically, you're playing as a character named Jacob. Jacob is like a space trucker from outer space, right? He's taking his haul down to a planet called Callisto, which has a jail on it called Black Iron. Basically, some terrorists come in, mess up his ship, they go falling down into Callisto, and he gets arrested for basically nothing at all. And then he gets branded and shoved into a cell and wakes up, and the prison is on lockdown, and bad stuff is finna happen. All right, the story basically has a lot of mystery to it because you really don't know Jacob. There's no real backstory of Jacob. You just start playing as him, but as you explore the prison and pick up audio logs throughout the prison, you figure out more about the prison, you figure out more about what's going on on Callisto, on Black Iron, and you figure out who Jacob really is. And as a story and as a game, the jump scares weren't really too crazy. The real main times I got scared personally is when I messed around turning the camera somewhere I wasn't paying attention for 2 seconds and something popped in my face. I wasn't ready for that. There's scares here and there. There's scares, and if you're a really scared person, you'll probably get scared. But overall, this story really had me hooked like throughout the whole way through. I was very interested the whole time, and I'm very interested to see where they go with this next. All right, now we're gonna talk about the gameplay. First of all, I want to get this out of the way. On PC, apparently the game is just a buggy mess, and not a lot of people were too happy about how the game came out on PC. So yeah, I played this game on a PS5, so I didn't really have any of those issues on the PS5. So it's probably a console game to play right now instead of your PC. It probably runs like a dream on a PC whenever they fix all the bugs and glitches. All right, let's talk about the combat in the Callisto Protocol. Mainly in this game, it's a war of attrition. All right, should you either run or you have to hide? Either one. All right, going through this game, it's very much a fight for your life. All right, it's very much a fight for keeping resources. It's very much a fight to just try and stay alive in this place and try to have enough resources to actually survive. All right, when it comes to this game, like weapons, you have one melee baton and you have six to five different guns that you pick up throughout your gameplay, and all of them have different firing modes, different ways of shooting, and they all feel different. And especially with your baton, you feel every hit from that baton. All right, it feels great just dodging an enemy and then hitting them. Also, there's a dodging mechanic before I begin. You either dodge left or right, whichever way a monster is swinging at you, which definitely makes the combat more intense because the enemies are always right up close to you. So you're either dodging left and right, hitting them, trying to get one out of the way. And when you do dodge, there's a mechanic where a little blue indicator will show up. If you press that indicator, you'll shoot, and that does extra damage. And upgrading your weapons in this game is just also just man, I think I only upgraded one weapon. I think I upgraded I upgraded one weapon fully throughout my entire playthrough, which is I think it's the pistol you get in the beginning. That's the only weapon I fully upgraded, because you really have to search and find these Callisto credits and just try and come up like with the money to like you very much have to pick and choose how you want to play this game, because you can put all your money into your guns and then have your melee be trash, and then when you try to fight people, you're not really doing that much damage, and you're forced to use your guns and pick up a whole bunch of ammo. Or you can put all your weapon in your melee, and when it's time to shoot, because the enemy doesn't really take hit, like he can't get hit, you're pretty much fucked, and you're gonna have to shoot a lot. All right, so you really have to pick and choose how you really want to play the game, or you go in balance. On top of that, all right, and on top of that, they give you, on top of that, Jacob, on top of that, you have telekinesis powers, which is probably one of the most funnest things in this game, to be honest with you. Is just picking up the enemy and launching him into spikes, just putting them up high and dropping them down and watching them explode. It's so much fun to do that. But the real funnest thing in this game is when you kill a monster, you get to repeatedly I mean, repeatedly step on them over and over and over and over and over and over again until you feel satisfied, because the monsters in this game will piss you off.
Stomp 'em in the nuts. We'll stomp 'em in the nuts. We'll stomp 'em in the nuts. I'ma stomp 'em.
When it comes to the enemy diversity in this game, it's pretty good. You have your regular infected, then you have your big boy infected, then you have your spitters that spit acid at you, and on top of that, you have your crawlers that like your suicide bombers that crawl to you and then explode. And then on top of that, you also have, which is probably my favorite type of enemy in the game, is the blind enemy in this game. It's probably the most creepiest enemy in this game, and especially its section in the game is probably, to me, the most creepiest, because there's a lot of them and they can't see you, so you can just walk around them. And there's a section in the game where a lot of them are around you, and you have to be like very methodical about how you get around all of them, because if they notice you or you make a sound, they'll just start jumping you, which is I like that part of the game very, very much. That was a very good part of the game. And on top of that, some of the regular enemies and even some of like the spitters and stuff, and the enemies have a mechanic in the game where they sometimes will have like tentacles coming out of their chest, and that means they're about to mutate. And if you let them mutate, they just like mutate and come back like 10 times stronger, so they take even longer to kill than they usually do. So you try to avoid that as you can, because it only makes the fights worse and you're probably gonna die. And throughout these games, they have, to me, probably one of the most like wasted enemies in the game. To me, they feel like they just I feel like they could have done way more with this enemy, but they're these giant security robots that just have like machine guns on their arms, and for most of the game they're really just relegated to like just don't get caught in their light type of missions sections. And I feel like they could have done way more with that. They could have actually like somehow like made them a boss, you know, or to me the only good boss in the game is the final boss. I feel like they finally diversified the bosses with that boss, and I was like, oh, this is different, this is new. I have to change up my tactics. Like, this should have been like the rest of the game. Like, when it comes to these bosses, not the same boss 4 to 5 different times, like in a different room. Like it just felt stupid. It just felt so repetitive. But this is a Dead Space game, and in a Dead Space game, you're gonna die a lot, and I mean a lot. And when it comes to the death scenes in this game, as you most likely saw in the intro, they're gruesome as they can possibly be. This man Jacob dies in the most horrendous ways, especially in the boss fight. He dies horrendously if you let that boss kill you. It's really crazy. But the only thing I don't like about the death scenes is that you can't skip them. So if you get stuck like I did for 3 hours, you're watching that same boss monster kill you in the same way over and over and over again, and you can't skip, try and hurry it up, or just try to fight him again. No, you have to watch him kill you over and over and over again, and it gets very annoying, and I hated going through that. When it comes to the graphics and the scenery of this game, they're absolutely beautiful. Probably my favorite part of the game is the snow levels. Oh, the snow levels in this game look fantastic, bro. They from what I've seen, they took very much inspiration from Dead Space when it comes to these little snow areas. It looks fantastic all the way through. And there was a little just frame drops here and there when it came to the game, but other than that, graphics running amazingly. I still feel bad for you PC players, because y'all had it rough. All right, now I'm gonna talk about, is this game worth your money? In my opinion, I feel like you can hold off on this game until the game is at least $40, goes on a sale. All right, because the game's only about 10 or 12 hours, all right, all around, and I feel like that's gonna be everybody's experience unless you like really suck or something. It's about 10 to 12 hours, all right? And I don't feel like you're really getting enough. There's a season pass, but that's later content. We're talking about it right now. It's not worth that 74 right now. It's definitely worth that 50-40 range. That's what the game is worth, in my opinion. And that's when you should pick it up, when it's $40-50. All right, now I'm gonna rate the game a 1 out of 10. Like 1 being trash, a 5 being like average, and like a 10 being just amazing. But overall, I'm gonna have to give this game, when it comes to how the gameplay is, how much enjoyment I think I got out of it personally, and just how much I was intrigued in the story of the game. And even though it had its bugs and its some gameplay problems, it's mainly in the boss area and some of the other monsters, I feel like this game for me is a good like 7 out of 10. The game is a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Good 7 out of 10. Definitely would have been higher if there would have been like more creative boss fights, if the game would have been a little bit longer, if some of the scares were better. They're on a little bit of a right track, and I can understand people's disappointment in this game. I can very much see it. You already know what to do. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's been the boy Ronin. Let me know if you want to see me do any other reviews. Let me know in the comments down below. It's been the boy Ronin. Deuce.